Hi, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, with our ongoing public speaking workshop, helping you if you want some free information and don't have the funds to go on some of the best 2 year, 4 year institutions under the umbrella of communication. But we give it for free. And this free information, we're going on from the previous video which was entitled How Can the Illusion of Transparency Bias Your Audience Numbers? I'll slow it down and say it again. How can the illusion of transparency bias your audience's numbers? Now, we continue on because we want to talk about speakers. And in their effects of this illusional transparency at the front of the room, audience members are also skeptical from what they might encounter. So, in a sense, you, as the front of the room speaker, you have them doing just what you wanted, paying attention. We need to make sure that we find a way to get that frustration down. Suppose that an audience member who sits in the front row is having trouble following your presentation. And further, suppose that it's frustrating, keeps on for a long period of time, perhaps across several sessions of a couple, you delivering, the frustration may build on both sides, causing significant internal stress. If affected by the illusion of transparency, this audience member may assume falsely that you must not know how frustrated they are. Further, you have failed to address their concerns. They may conclude that you don't care about them. And another thing when we talk about is undelivered feedback. Years ago, I gave a 5 session course to some junior colleagues. And after the fifth session, I visited one student in her office to ask her how the course went. Among her comments, she revealed that she had been very confused in the third session. And when I asked what she hadn't spoken up in class and let people know about it, and the response was, she didn't feel it was necessary to provide the feedback explicitly. So, how can you migrate the illusion of transparency bias from your audience? Now, there are several ways that we can start looking at this. Analyze your audience. Throughout the audience analysis, provide many insights into what your audience is thinking and where they're likely to encourage problems during your presentation. Explicitly seek feedback. Develop a habit, really, of you seeking feedback from audience members in many ways. Attempt to uncover trouble areas in your presentations and work hard to address them. Do this before, during, and after the presentation. Pay attention to clues. Even though your audience will not always verbalize the things that they're feeling, there are often suitable clues available if you know what to look for. Negative facial expressions, closed body language, restless movements, frequent checking of electronic devices, and many other things tell you that they were disconnected from what your content, your speech was all about. Also, we need to think about testing our audience, gauging their understanding. Many times I want to find out if I was way over my head with this presentation as far as content and the delivery. I often incorporate informal exercises for discussions where I ask the audience questions based on the information that I just presented to them. For example, I introduce the principles of effective slide design. I then present slides to my audience, having them match each slide into the principle that it was illustrated. By listening actually to their responses, both sides, it gives me a better understanding in real time of how that speech was perceived. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategy, with our ongoing series on public speaking. And as always, imparting, you go out and you make